Hello, hello. It's Dave Life Adventures, and I wanted to do something a little different this time. So, what you see on my screen here is the Victron Remote Management um, in the browser. So, I have set up my 2025 Tiffin GH1, the Victron system, the Cerbo GX. I have set it up to connect to the internet using my Starlink or my mobile antennas that I have, 5G antennas in the van, and it is broadcasting, if you will, to the cloud for Victron Energy. So their Victron Remote Management allows you to remotely manage your system. So as you see here on my screen, I have named my system NV Quick Power. You can name it anything that you would like. You can also have a logo attached to your installation so that you can see. You could have multiple installations. Right now, I have it plugged into shore power. I'm at home. So I have it plugged into shore power, but I only have it plugged into a 15 amp circuit. So I have limited my my system, my inverter, to only accept 15 amps. That helps me protect my house system. So you can see over here on the right hand side, the input current limit is 15 amps. And you may be seeing some things over here on the right that you may or may not have in your system. I have 4 RUVI tags, that's RUUVI tags in the van, and they provide a temperature. If I expand these out a little bit, you'll see this one has, I have this one setting in my garage area of the van, and it is reading in Fahrenheit. It is reading relative humidity, barometric pressure, and it also is a motion detector as well in there. So this is important to me because my dog lives in the garage area of the van when we're out on the road, and I like to understand what the temperature and everything is in the van at that point. So that is very helpful there. I've got one mounted on the rooftop, and it is only measuring temperature as well as motion. The next one, oops, sorry, is I've got one set up in my network cabinet. This is my headliner storage area, and I have it set in there. It is also reading all 4 things, the temperature in Fahrenheit, relative humidity, barometric pressure, as well as motion. I want to make sure that that area is cool for my electronics that are in there. So I have my system converted to DC power in there. So I have a power over Ethernet injector, as well as step converter, DC step converter, and I've got a PepLink router, as well as a uh, kind of a hub for my security system that I have, all the cameras that I have both inside and outside of my van. And then I also have one of the sensors Ruby tags in the refrigerator that is in the van, and it is also reading temperature in Fahrenheit, relative humidity, barometric pressure, as well as motion. So that's what you see over here on the right. Here in the middle, this is very similar to what you're going to see on your Cerbo GX display inside of the van, but you can see it remotely. So you can see now I'm on bulk charge. So I have shore power coming in. I'm right at 1500 watts. I've got 13.8 amps coming in. And my current AC load, you'll see, is 141 watts. Maybe during the recording here, I think probably at the beginning when we first came in, you were seeing probably around 1,000 to 1,100 watts. That's because it's quite warm here. The outside temperature is 78 degrees Fahrenheit now, but earlier today it was 90 plus degrees Fahrenheit. And I did have my GRE AC unit running. So many of you have asked in the community, can I plug into a 15 amp or 20 amp circuit and run my AC as well as a few other odds and end things in the van? You do need to be careful with that, but at the same time, you can do it because the GRE unit in the Tiffins will be variable power. So the trick that I have found is just not running in turbo mode on the GRE, and you can control that via the mobile app for GRE. I run mine in normal mode, but I do the oscillating vents on it, and I let it be auto. And I have never seen it really go above 1100 watts here. So if shore power is 1500 and I've got about 100 watts or so on DC at this point, I'm well within the range of being able to run that on shore power only. Of course, during the day when the AC is running, and maybe we'll get lucky and it'll kick in here in a little bit because I'm looking at the temperature closer to the garage here, and maybe it'll kick in. I've got the thermostat set to 72 degrees Fahrenheit on the GRE, so we'll see if it kicks in. If you see this number going up, you'll see it kick in. We'll be able to see kind of what that looks like. But normally when that is running, this is about anywhere from 150 to maybe at most maybe 300 watts charging on the battery side of that, and it works pretty well. Now, if it was really hot outside and it really kicked into turbo, let's say you had it in turbo setting, you'll see this number drop or kick up to a higher number, and you may see this change from bulk to assist. And the assist, what that is that is saying, hey, I don't have enough power coming in from shore to be able to handle the demand or the load on the system for AC. So I need to kick in the inverter to help augment that. It's actually safe to do this, and these systems are designed to handle these type scenarios. So I thought I might throw that in there to kind of help you understand what can and can't be done in your scenario. But a lot of people have asked, I've posted some screenshots about this showing this area here. I am sitting in my computer in my home, in my office, and I'm monitoring the van and controlling the van just fine on this. So there's a lot of capability here within the desktop view in the browser here, but I'll probably only scratch the surface. I just thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a walkthrough of what this looks like here, and let me know if you have any questions below. If you like this kind of content, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be alerted of new content that comes out. But hopefully this is helpful to you. If there are specific areas that you want to know more about, let me know. If I don't know the answer, I'll research it and figure it out and come on and do another video with a deep dive into that area. But one thing you may or may not know is that when you have this connected to be able to remotely monitor it, you can actually access the remote console right here and look at what's going to happen. When this loads up, this is exactly what you see when you're on the physical display in your van. So you can see it's bulk charging. Shore power is sitting right around 1530, 40, somewhere around watts. AC load is 145. Battery is there. I'm charging. I have about 1,050 watts or so charging on this right now with the AC load, because my guess is the GRE is running the fan right now. It is not actually, the compressor hasn't kicked in. That's why it's sitting down around 145 watts. It is nighttime at this point, so I don't have any solar yield coming in. So you may or may not see this block on your display. That is if you have an MPPT controller installed in your rig to control your solar. If you only have the Go Power that comes with the non 1-up package, then you won't see this on your Cerbo GX. But if you have upgraded yourself, or if you have the 1-up package, you will have an MPPT controller that integrates with your Cerbo GX here for Victron, and you will see this block for solar yield. This is my current DC load right now. And you can just click in here with your mouse and you can see just exactly what you would see. These are my 4 Ruby tags that are in here showing the different readings from that. It's only going to show the temperature and the humidity on the Cerbo GX, but as you can see from, if I just click out of this and go back into here, I can see a little bit more. I can see the barometric pressure that is showing on those sensors here. You do not see motion readings here, but you can use the Ruby app to be able to read motion. So let's go through a scenario here. If I'm looking at this and let's say my charge is up to 100% at this point, and I want to take it off of shore power. This is a great method that I use to be able to turn on shore power versus not shore power. I leave it plugged in all the time, but I don't always want it charging. So you can do just like you can do on the display. I can click this guy up in the upper left-hand corner. I can go to mode and I can set it to inverter only very easily and set it. And then it will be offshore power and running only on the inverter at that point. So this is extremely powerful. You can do this on your mobile device as well. But maybe many of you didn't know that you could actually do this from your computer as well. So the way that you access this is you had to set up an account to connect it to the internet anyways through Victron Energy. So if you go to vrm.victronenergy.com, it will prompt you for an account. And if you have that configured on your system, you will be able to access remotely. That's the whole purpose of Victron Remote Management, is to be able to remotely manage your Victron system. If I have notifications showing up over here, I would be able to see those here as well. I can go through the brief screen. I can go through settings. So if I need to reconfigure something in here, I can do that. So hopefully that is super helpful for you guys to know how to do that. Like I said, there are so many possibilities within this system, including things like being able to set up alarms, custom configure. So I have a few alarms that when the temperature reaches a certain part, let's say I'm monitoring the garage because my dog is in there, when it hits a certain temperature going up, I want to know about it. If I'm out on a hike or I'm off at an event and I happen to leave my dog in the van, I want to know when it reaches a certain temperature so that I can either remotely turn on my AC or turn on the heat, or something like that. That helps me a lot to know that. Also have cameras that I can be able to remotely monitor them as well. And always know what is going on with the dog. So that's very important. You have advanced views in here, and you can configure your dashboard to show whatever widgets you would like to see. So I've got all sorts of history here that I can look at and see what's going on in the system and really drill into any point in time on this, as well as export some of the previous data. I think it logs about a month at rolling history in here, so that is really important. So like for me, I have a solar awning and I want to see what is going on with the PV charger here through the MPPT controller. I can download that data and look at the whole thing in a spreadsheet and kind of know what's going on there. This is completely configurable. You can have your own little notes in here. You look at all your devices. You can upgrade firmware through here. So if you are looking at your devices, for instance. You can look at all of those, see what all is going on here, come into the settings and look at different things that are there. Under preference, you can look at your various integration, notification, display preferences. There's so much you can do in here. I was mentioning firmware update. So if you're looking at your device list, you see I have all the devices. This is my Victron gateway kind of thing that kind of communicates with what we're looking at right now. I've got the inverter, which is the MultiPlus II 3000 watt 12 volt inverter. I've got a SmartShunt. I've got an MPPT. There's a solar charger, and then I've got my 4 RV tags. You can add more devices in the list, kind of depend on your configuration, but mine's pretty simple at this point. But we can come into firmware update and we can look at the entire list. It will run a scan to determine what version of firmware you're on and if there is an update available. Now, I kind of live on what is referred to as the bleeding edge a bit, and I make sure that I always update firmware on my devices. However, I have an update here available right now for my MPPT controller. I have an MPPT 100/50 right here. So I could update that device right now and be able to do that. And my dog is now barking because somebody is at the door. I guess that is the delivery time. But I can update that device right here. Now, when it comes to the inverter, if you were to click update device here, you'll see this huge warning here. You want to be a bit more careful when it comes to updating your inverter because that is kind of the heart of the entire system. So you want to do that a little bit more carefully than a lot of your other devices. But it is totally fine to update your Cerbo GX, your SmartShunt, as well as your solar controller. So I can click this and notice it did not prompt me. It is literally updating firmware from version 1.68 right now to 1.74. So once that gets done, I'm up to date on my latest and greatest version that is available for release on that device. So I find this incredibly helpful here, especially when I am at home and I want to monitor the van without going out there and going through the display. And I thought this might help you guys know a little bit more about what's going on. Again, if you like this content, let me know if there are certain areas of interest to you, like for instance, setting up alarms or looking at the event logs or generating reports for this. There's so many things that you can do in here. Just let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to try to, if I don't know the answer to the question, I'll be happy to research and do a video for you to try to help you out. Now, in that matter of time, it was really cool to see a successful firmware update on my MPPT solar controller. So it's a success. We got a notification. Now I am up to date with the latest and greatest on that. Does it still work? Let's go back to the dashboard and look and see. Yeah, it seems to still be working pretty good. Is it in my device list? Yep, it's in my device list. It looks like it's good. It's showing the latest and greatest firmware version. Fantastic, right? So again, you can do this from your desktop. You can do it from your mobile app. There's some more features that are available on the desktop when you're in the browser looking at that, but you can certainly do a lot of this stuff in multiple ways. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great evening and look forward to more content with you guys. Just let me know if this is helpful to you. I really appreciate it. Have a great evening.